After being uninhabited for 50 years, this old stone house was in need of some serious repair work. And these are the highlights of my renovation work since I started my YouTube channel just over a year ago. They include work from the rock foundations up to the roof, some surprises, some worrying moments, and plenty of hard work, all in an effort to make the house as wonderful and as inspiring as the views and hills all around it. First of all, I started with some work on the exterior walls, but there was a big surprise that I returned to in a later chapter. After the work on the outside walls, I headed inside for some work on the ground floor. One final room to do. When I was levelling the ground in front earlier on, I'd actually had a big surprise, and I had spent some time investigating it. After a week of digging, I moved on to other work, but I was pretty sure there was more old patio to uncover and discover. Next, I needed to prepare for some upcoming work with a building team on site. With the vault strengthened, we moved on to the main work of that phase, which was major repair work and opening up of the extension part of the house. With the floors cleared and walls prepared, we moved on to installing some new beams. To finish this phase of work with the team, we then worked on various openings in this part of the house. While the team were on site, I had continued to carefully excavate the old patio and to discover its real shape and size. Two men had arrived unexpectedly to remove the tower and shed as part of a province-wide infrastructure program, work I thought I was going to have to do myself later on. And having waited a long time for one excavator, I then had two on site. Then I was back inside to prepare for some major work on the foundations and ground floors. After my personal digging mission, the building team were back to help finish the job and secure the bases of the walls.
The building team were then busy on another site, so I did some work outside, starting with the old well. When the builders were off-site, I also worked on clearing and repairing various internal walls. With the builders due back to do some major roof work, I started cleaning and checking the old cornice on the back of the house. Then it was time for installing the new wooden beams. After the rain, the team were back outside to finish the brickboard layer. In the last weeks before Christmas, rather than start the second half of the roof, we started some final changes to the front and side walls. I also spent some time clearing outside to see certain spaces more clearly. In the last week, we moved on to removing another stone structure and working on a number of openings.
After the rain over Christmas, the sun has made a very welcome return, and the sea down there is a lot calmer after a big storm, although on the horizon behind the house, the Pyrenees have now got a lot of snow on top of them. And the weather forecast is looking better for when we restart work next week, when we will be back to transforming the look of the front and the side wall. And then there will be a lot of other work, both indoors and outdoors, that I'm really excited about. But for now, I hope you've enjoyed this look at my work over the last year. And if you do have any questions or suggestions about the video, please do send me a message. And as usual, I'll do my best to reply to every comment. And finally, I'd like to wish you all a very happy and successful 2026.